Mr. Andrew, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Docs?
I'm doing great.
So I talked to you on the phone a little bit, and you said you haven't really been watching the news the last couple of days.
A little bit. I mean, I saw a thing about Trump.
A, a
He's
a thing about Trump.
Was it an assassination attempt or was it just like a guy in the woods with a gun creeping
So
around?
everybody's calling it, like, the FBI officially said that they are investigating it as an assassination attempt. I've
Okay.
been curious, like, either way, somebody was trying to kill him, but like he never got within sight of him. So is that really an attempt, or is that like a foiled assassination plot? I don't really know.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
the weird thing about that, I'll say real quick, is like, again, everybody's calling for the Secret Service's heads. They're saying, we need them in front of Congress tomorrow to explain what's happening. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like the Secret Service did exactly their job here. Like, this was a successful job by the Secret Service, but everybody, I saw somebody said, like, this is two attempts in 50 days. Like, what is the Secret Service even doing? And it's like, if someone's going to try to kill the president, like, they can't stop that person from making the attempt. But if they stop the attempt, that's their job, and they did that. So
Well, and how many times a week do they stop an attempt
I don't know.
that we don't hear about, right? Like
They get,
on Kamala or Biden or any of these guys.
from what I understand, every time somebody makes like a threat, like mentions, I don't even want to say the words, but mentions doing something like that to the leader of the U.S., like they get a visit the next day from the Secret Service. Like Elon apparently, I don't know if he actually got it, but Elon tweeted some stuff right afterward. And I can't remember exactly what he said. It was one where he had some plausible deniability, but he basically said like, "Geez, and nobody's even tried to kill Kamala yet." Like dot dot dot. Like, and
Oh God.
everybody was making the joke that like Elon's going to get a visit tomorrow for sure. Like, he's not necessarily going to be in trouble, but they're going to come talk to him about it. So apparently
Yeah.
they make those contacts a lot. Um,
Huh.
but I think very key thing to say here, because we're going to probably be giggling through this. There's no room for political violence. Like, I as much as I
Agreed.
don't want Trump to be president, I would like to beat him at the ballot box. Like, the thought of anybody trying to assassinate the other side, I'm not a fan of. So
Yeah.
let's
Not a
make
fan of
that clear.
murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does bother me a little bit is so Trump's not one to bring the rhetoric down. Like, after the first time he got shot at, um, they were saying that he was going to make his speech and it was going to be a plea for unity. And then I think had he done that, he would have run away with the polls even more than he was. Like, but he
Yeah.
didn't. He kind of did about 5 minutes on unity and then moved straight into like the left is trying to destroy America type talk, which is what he likes to do. But on all right wing media, they've been saying like this is the Democrats' rhetoric. Like, the Democrats are saying he's a threat to democracy, and because of that, like, that's why people are taking shots at him.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, like, yeah, I don't appreciate that rhetoric myself, but like, when did this rhetoric start? Like, when did things get elevated at this point? Like,
Obama?
yeah, so when Obama was in, there were people like doing fake lynchings in their front yard, like a black scarecrow,
Oh
like
shit.
yeah, that had like it said Obama on the chest and like that. So that was a thing. But I
Oh, God.
I would say more 2015 when Trump, like, if you think back to Trump's like early rallies, like, Mexicans are murderers and rapists, and some of them I assume are good people. He said that. Um Trying to think here. The Muslim ban, he kind of fell right in line with the Rush Limbaugh, like the radical liberal Democrats are trying to destroy America.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you remember at a couple of his rallies, he would tell the crowd, like, if you see anybody protesting, like, punch or knock the crap out of them. I think what he would say,
Right.
knock the crap out
Right.
of them, and I'll pay your legal bill. Like, that was his thing that he would say.
He said something like, "Back in the day, we used to take them back out and back and beat the
Yep.
shit out of them."
He told cops to be a little rough with the people they're arresting. So it's like, okay, where did the rhetoric start to go up? It's like, to me, it's like 2015 rallies. Famously, back then, Michelle Obama led the charge, but the Democrats said, when they go low, we go high. Like, we're not going to sink to their level, and they did that, and they lost. Trump won with the crazy rhetoric that everybody kind of thought would turn off most of Americans. No, it excited half of Americans, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, so the Democrats in the past couple of years have totally said, okay, we're done going high. The whole Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high, ain't working. So they're matching his rhetoric. So yeah, I think yes, the Democrats' rhetoric definitely has got people thinking like, we have to take Trump out, which is scary. I don't think anybody should think that. Um, but it's like look at what Trump is saying on a daily basis. Like, even today, his statement about getting or think he said the bullets are flying, and it's like, no bullets flew at you yesterday. But either way, we'll say attempt.
There
But
was
he,
four rounds went off.
so I don't know how many rounds, but all the rounds that went off were fired in his direction. Like,
Okay.
from what I understand, there's Secret Service people with him, like literally following right behind him. But then they have people up scouting the holes ahead, which is smart.
Yeah.
You would think they'd be doing that. And somebody was one of the Secret Service guys was walking a hole or two ahead and saw a rifle sticking through the fence and opened fire immediately on that rifle.
Damn.
One interesting thing here, and today he got charged with the would-be assassin got charged with 2 counts. Okay, there could be more counts coming, but the first thing I noticed was Florida's got gun laws like Texas, so it's not illegal to have a gun. Like
Right.
you can be walking around with an AK or an AR as long as it's not fully automatic. Now he's a felon. I
Oh,
can't wait to find out where he got this gun, because if he bought it like legally, if he went in and bought it from a store, the total failure of our system. He in 2002 he barricaded himself inside of a building in North Carolina with a fully automatic AR.
oh
So
shit.
they charged him with having a weapon of mass destruction. Apparently, if you have a fully
Whoa.
automatic, that is the charge. So he got convicted of having a weapon of mass destruction. So he should never be able to buy a gun again. And good chance he bought it like off the streets, which we don't have universal background checks, so you can just sell a gun to who, you can Craigslist, you can sell a gun. Anyhow,
Hmm.
that's my thing. I want to figure out where he got the gun. I want to know if he bought it, just off the streets or got it from a store. Yeah, should have never had a gun. Uh, Trying to think here. Oh, and the other thing, sorry, real quick on Trump and the rhetoric. The whole Paul Pelosi thing, which the right laughs about this, like where the guy broke into Nancy Pelosi's husband or to their house
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
cracked him in the head with a
Bludgeoned
hammer.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was there. Like they to this day, like Don Jr. makes jokes about it. Like I remember it was a couple months ago, but it was a picture of a pair of whitey tidies and a hammer, and he said, "Oh, I got my Halloween outfit. I'm going as Paul
Oh,
Pelosi." It was something along those lines. So like they've made fun of that from the start. There were all the
yeah.
rumors that it was really a gay lover. So it's like, all right, are we condemning political violence or not? Like I think we should be. Like I think everybody and Biden, Kamala, everybody's come out and condemned any form. Really, Trump's the one person that has come out since the shooting and is fanning the flames. Like he I think wants to use this to really fire up his side and increase division, which scares me. Like I would hope that after this, I'd love it if like him and Kamala could do some kind of a sit down where they sit down and talk to each other and like, hey, like we don't hate each other. Never gonna happen. But
No.
I think that's what we
Because of
need.
Trump.
I'll bet Kamala would. I think it would be awkward as hell if they tried to do it. But that, like to me, that's the one thing right now that could possibly like tone down shit a little bit, but not gonna happen on either side.
Okay,
So,
so I want to know more about the guy, the assassination
oh my
attempt, or
God.
whatever his name is.
I
Yeah.
I want so badly to be able to put this guy into a box, like to make, he's this kind or that kind.
Yeah.
He's so confusing. Like I'm fascinated by this guy.
Huh.
I don't know anything pre 2016, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. But 2016, he was a Trump voter, very MAGA, like hardcore.
Okay.
Around 2019, he totally soured on Trump, like 100%, and became a Tulsi Gabbard supporter.
Oh
And then
shit.
when she dropped out, he became a Bernie bro. And then when Bernie dropped out, he voted for Biden in 2020. And like we know all this because of his Twitter and his Facebook. And like he
Okay.
was very openly like, Mr. Trump, I had great support for you and I thought you were going to be great, but you haven't, and this and that, and you're forcing me to vote for Biden. So he voted
Huh.
for Trump 16, then was a Tulsi fan, Bernie fan, voted for Biden, and now this election, he has been begging Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley to do like a joint ticket where she's the president and he's the VP. And like he doesn't want Trump. He wanted that really bad. What's weird about that, Nikki and Vivek are not in the same lane at all. Like the two of them
No.
on like Vivek is on the Trump lane and Nikki is on the anti-Trump Republican lane.
Well,
Like
she endorsed Trump.
she did right after the shooting. And I think right now there's a couple people, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but I think there's a couple of Republicans that went back to Trump and jumped on board right after the Biden debate, right after the shooting when he was looking really good. And they said,
Uh-huh.
screw it, like he's going to be the president. And now, like, that things are turning, they're probably kicking their ass because they wish they hadn't done that. But I got a couple people in that boat. But yeah, and then he's very pro Ukraine. He's like COVID conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
I don't know if he's anti-vax or not, but they said he's a COVID conspiracy theorist. He's pro-Ukraine. He was going like I don't want to go down this road, but like I'm kind of curious. Like there's a part of me that's like, was he working alone or who was helping him? Like kind of conspiracy theorist because
Yeah.
he's from North Carolina. He lived in Hawaii. He seems to be unemployed. He somehow flew to Ukraine like within the last year or two,
He
and
went to Ukraine?
he was trying to recruit people to fight for like a mercenary group in Ukraine, and
Oh,
he claimed to be part of this other group of like Americans that are helping with Ukraine. But they came out in June or July, and like I guess he'd given an interview on like the New York Times or Newsweek or somewhere big, and he had given an interview saying he was with this organization, and they came out in like June or July and said, "No, this guy is not with us. This guy's crazy." Um, yeah, he doesn't fit into any box, and that bothers the hell out of me. Like I want him, I want to say, oh, he's a this or he's a that, and he's everything.
huh.
Yeah. Which if you're gonna try to kill the president, you're probably crazy. So he's crazy, but like his kind of crazy like doesn't make sense to me at all.
I'm gonna share this screen with you here.
Hold on. There you go.
So this is the guy.
Oh, I've seen his picture a bunch. Find the one where his hair is dyed blue. You can't tell, but his hair is dyed blue and yellow, which is the Ukraine flag. And he's wearing all kinds of American flag, like a neck gaiter and a bulletproof vest, and then his hair is dyed Ukraine colors.
Let's see. Dude, this guy is crazy.
Oh, and you can find all kinds of he was a YouTuber. Like the guy had the biggest
Oh,
footprint of anybody. Like
oh, he has a YouTube channel.
so Facebook took his stuff down first, and then Twitter took it down right after. He was tweeting to Elon a lot. One of his tweets to Elon, you're gonna love this. He was like, "Dear Elon Musk, may I please buy a rocket from you so that I can strap a warhead to the top of it and fire it at Russia or something like that." He's like,
Oh God.
"Kindly DM me for so I can figure out payment options or something along those lines." Like, yeah, he's the craziest guy, and they got him alive. I love that. Like the guy in Pennsylvania, like they had to kill. There was no way to take him alive, take him out as fast as you can. But I'm glad they got him alive. Like I want to find out everything about him. Real
Oh God.
quick, what I was saying earlier though, the only thing they've charged him with, this crazy nut job, is he's a felon who has a weapon in his possession, which I don't know what the penalty for that is. And then also the weapon he had the serial number scratched off. So he got two weapons charges. Like
Oh.
I don't know that they can charge him with trying to kill the president because he never really got to try. Like Trump was never within his sight. He was just in public with a gun, which if he wasn't a felon, he would have been able to do.
Am I still sharing my screen?
You're not sharing your screen at all.
Okay.
If you are, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. Um, but you saw it earlier. Did you click out
No,
of it?
never saw your screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to try again, go for it.
Yeah, here.
Okay,
Just
here
for
we
the
go.
viewers. So the viewers.
So yeah, and that picture that's on the right there, yeah, the left side of his head's yellow, so it's the Ukrainian flag plus the American flag neck gaiter. That picture with him pulling his shirt up is when they arrested him yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so Secret Service shot at him. He got in his car and hauled ass, but a witness got a picture of him and his license plate, so they were able to find him like one county north, like within an hour, and did like a what do they call it, like a felony stop or something where they get everybody out there.
Hmm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
what is
there was a lot of video floating around of him yesterday. Like he's not afraid to get in front of the camera. So and like I said, he's quoted in like stories in like the New York Times, Newsweek. Like I think they were looking for people to talk to the Ukraine stuff about, and I guess he kept misrepresenting himself, saying that he was a part of this one organization, and they kept tweeting like, "No, this guy is not a part of our organization." Um, he seems like a nut job.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go after the president, you're pretty much a nut job.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? I'll say this with like the rise, like so I can't remember everything that's happened, but like we had the Paul Pelosi thing. We've had two shootings at Trump. Years ago, this was during the Trump administration. Remember the MAGA pipe bomber guy, the guy that was
Yeah.
trying to send pipe bombs to like Don Lemon and everybody. He drove a
Oh,
van. He
yeah.
remember he drove that van that had just like Trump stickers all over it. It was
Yeah.
as soon as you saw the van, you were like, this guy's nuts. But it's increasing. There was a time And it was like the mid 1960s to late 1990s in Northern Ireland that they just called the Troubles. And it was like, I don't know if you remember when we were young, like the Northern Ireland was basically having like a revolution. I don't know what the right word for it is, but there was just car bombings and violence and politicians getting taken out left and right. And they just refer to that time as the Troubles. It was just a 30-year period where political violence got out of hand. And I heard somebody
I don't
recently,
remember that at all.
like I said, we were graduating high school when it was kind of wrapping up. But
Okay.
like somebody said it the other day, but it's like this looks like a lead into the Troubles, and that's a scary thought that like this
We
is
also
just
had that Bernie supporter that
the Bernie
shot
supporter. Yep,
at
that
the
he
baseball
shot
game or whatever.
Steve Scalise, the
Yeah.
Republican, yeah, the guy. So yeah, he got shot, and so yeah, it's increasing. Like, and I'll tell you what, right now, like the after Trump got shot out the first time, I was like, oh shit, like Kamala better watch out. Like, I hope they got some bulletproof glass for her. And nothing happened. To Trump's credit right now, and I still say his rhetoric is ridiculously bad and not helping the situation. But recently, I think the pipe bomber guy is the last one that I can think of right now that tried
I-
the guy that was trying to send the pipe bombs to Don Lemon and everybody. The
Oh,
That was
okay.
like 2018. That was before COVID. Um,
Okay.
but I can't think of a Republican that's done some kind of like big political violence like this in the past 4 years.
Huh.
So I feel
Interesting.
confident saying that his rhetoric is not helping things, but also his.
Well, you say a Republican or a Republican that's
Oh,
receiving it.
hold on. I was saying a Republican that did it. I'm totally excluding January 6th from this. I'm sorry. January
Oh,
6th was kind of a big deal.
well,
Uh,
what about the first attempt on Trump? He was a Republican.
and this guy, I mean, he was a Republican in 16. He voted Biden in 20, and he was wanting to vote Republican this time, but he just didn't want Trump. He wanted Nikki Haley
Yeah.
real bad. So that's,
Uh,
I would never think of Nikki Haley supporters as crazy people like that. Those are like the moderate Republicans that just they can't bring themselves to vote for a Democrat, but they don't like Trump. Like that's the Nikki Haley supporter. To me, those people are not the lunatics. But this guy, like I said, he doesn't fit neatly into a box. Um,
hmm.
yeah,
Well,
it's
he
rough.
fits into the loony bin.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, if you're crazy, like you got to be crazy to take a shot at the president, and this guy fits that box, I guess. So
Yeah.
anyhow, so let's hope nothing happens here, but at the same time, like I think they need to ramp up security for all of them right now. I think this we got 55 days to go. The
Well,
polls
here's
are
the
tight.
thing. Like
Yep.
Trump, like so Trump's the ex-president and they allocate a certain amount of Secret Service to the ex-president, right? Depending
He,
on what he's doing, they ramp it up. Um, but like other than that, shouldn't he have to pay for his own security
I don't know
detail?
how that works. I don't know what the laws are on it. I know that the Secret Service has been claiming that they're underfunded for like 20 years, and it'd be up to Congress in the budget to increase their funding, and they're not. And they've been, according to every expert I've listened to for the last 2 days, like they're underfunded and they're stretched thin. Like they don't have enough agents to do what they need to do, and like without their congressional budget, increasing their budget. Sorry, I don't know how to say the right words here, but that's the answer is they need more funding and. If we're going to add to their funding, we either need to raise taxes, increase the debt, or take the money from somewhere else. But they got to figure that out. Um, and then I think that's about anything else on the attempted assassination. I got a list of other stuff.
Not that I know of. Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you got?
So Laura Loomer, we talked about her right the post debate recap. Laura Loomer was getting off the plane right before the debate, and I remember I told you that like I got oddly excited at that point because I was like, oh shit, like Trump's hanging out with Laura Loomer, like this could equal Trump saying some very far right shit. Like Laura Loomer, real quick. I was trying to like do a little bit more looking into her. There was a clip that I can't get over of her. And do you know who Nick Fuentes is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like the straight up Nazi that he's just a
Yeah.
white nationalist Nazi. He had dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and then Trump got in trouble with the press, I guess you would say. And Trump tried to do the whole like, I didn't know who he was. Like Kanye brought him to the White House or something like that, or to Mar-a-Lago. Um, but there's a video of her and Nick Fuentes toasting and saying to the hostile takeover of the Republican Party, and this is like 2 or 3 years ago. And
Oh shit.
had I seen that video at the time, I would have been like, yeah, right, good luck, Laura. But like they did it. Like I mean, she's riding with Trump on the plane. Like I gotta say, they're up there right now. They're advising Trump. So interesting stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene decided so Loomer made a tweet saying she's tweeted so much racist shit over the years that I can't believe this was the one that got anybody's upset. but she said that if Kamala Harris gets elected, the White House is going to smell like Indian food,
Oh
and
yeah.
all the press conferences are going to be done via call center or something along those lines. And
Racist.
for whatever reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like that was the moment for her, and she came out and denounced Laura Loomer. She was like, this isn't what MAGA stands for. The craziest thing about this is like
She's like, that's my man. You don't
dude,
touch my man.
we'll get there in a second. Like 4 years ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like straight up QAnon. Like she was making she was one of those like influencers at home that was making her own videos talking about what Q's really saying. Like that's how
Oh,
she became popular. She also
oh,
is the lady that said Jewish space lasers are controlling the
yeah.
weather, whatever. So she's nuts. And in this battle, I caught myself being like, "Yep, I'm definitely on Marjorie Taylor Greene's side. Like she's the more normal of the two." So I'm upset. I'm upset with Laura Loomer for making me take Marjorie Taylor Greene's side.
Oh
Um,
God.
but so then Loomer responded to her. Several people have said this, so I'm not the first, but like I think it's just like it's a jealousy thing. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene liked having Trump's ear and being his supporter, and the one that, and he likes Loomer better now. Yeah, that's being speculated a lot too. I'm not going to say anything about that. Um, but then so she shot back at Marge and said something about Marge having an affair with her trainer. I can't remember what the whole deal was, but it was like spilling the tea on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Um, then Lindsey Graham came out. All right, you know what? Lindsey Graham didn't even tweet or anything. He just told somebody right after the debate. He said Trump needs to fire all his debate prep people and get some smarter people around him, or something along those lines. So then she tweeted at Lindsey Graham and basically said, "We all know you're in the closet. Like you need to just come out."
Oh, yeah, I
Like
heard that.
I was just, this is so good. Like, if you, and they've said this about Tulsi Gabbard since the debate, but like, if you were playing the long con, like, you couldn't plan it better to like plant a Democrat, like, have a Democrat pretend to switch sides and like help Trump, but really be like hurting him. Like, I think that's what Laura Loomer and Tulsi are doing right now. Like, we couldn't plan it any better. So I think he needs to keep Laura Loomer right at his side. And somebody the other day was this is one of my neighbors, and he was like, "Well, he's like, I don't know anything about Laura Loomer, but the left sure seems to be afraid of her, so that must mean she's onto something." It was one of those type things, and I had
Yep.
to explain to him. I was like, "No, like the left loves this. Like the left hopes that he keeps her around. The people that are throwing a fit right now are the moderate Republicans, like the Republicans that want him to win." But aren't down with crazy shit. They are trying so hard to convince him to get rid of the crazy people around him, and he's not going to do it. Like, especially after she talked shit about Lindsey Graham and Marge, like I was like, oh, is he gonna pie? And no, he defended her the next day. So keep
Hmm.
Laura Loomer around. Like this is like the cats and dogs eating our pet stuff. Like that's coming from Laura Loomer, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the more crazy shit he spews, the further people want to separate themselves from him.
Mm.
I mean, I even talked to my dad the other day after the debate, and he just kind of seemed a little defeated
Yeah.
about it.
It,
And okay,
there's a long way to, there's 55 days and there's going to be more curveballs. Like, so anybody that's feeling defeated or super enthusiastic right now, like, we
yeah.
got a lot of time. Nobody needs to be confident or feeling out of the race right now. Like this is still, I I had the polls. Let me pull these up. I don't know if you saw there was a new Pennsylvania poll. So Pennsylvania has been kind of the one that's been getting her recently. She has been basically tied with him in Pennsylvania, and several polls came out today, and the Pennsylvania one everybody's been waiting on because they say that it's done by like the most prestigious pollster. Like everybody trusts this one, and she was up 4 or 5 points in Pennsylvania, and
Oh, wow.
the two counties that always kind of whatever way those two go, that's who wins the state. She was up like 6 points in those two counties, so things look great right now in Pennsylvania. Um,
Hmm.
she's still the real quick, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, but Trump with the whole Haitians and he's demonizing Haitians basically right now.
Yeah.
He's only up 3 points in Florida right now, and I think abortion is on the ballot in Florida, which is going to bring
Yep.
more people out to vote. And then on top of that, Florida has like 500,000 Haitian Americans that are registered to vote.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm just like,
He's just digging himself deeper and deeper into debt here.
it's like there's times where it looks like he wants to lose. Like he's starting a battle with the Haitians that's unnecessary right now. And then Sunday morning, he tweeted, I think I was getting ready for football and I'm looking at Twitter and I've been seeing a lot of this recently, but where I'll see like, oh shit, like Trump tweeted something and it's a fake tweet. Like it's a screenshot saying that Trump put this on Truth Social and he didn't really do it. So I've been real weary of that. And it just said, "I hate Taylor Swift," like exclamation point. And they were saying that Trump had tweeted that. And I was like, he didn't do that. They're just trying to get the Swifties riled up. And then I kept seeing it. And then I was seeing like real news people were like, no, this is real. He put this on True Social. Like
Wait, that's it? He just said
it's
that?
just out of nowhere, it just said, I hate Taylor Swift. Now, CNBC, which he apparently that's the station he watches because that's like the money NBC station. And they
Yeah.
had run a segment like just prior to that where they were talking about how she really does have sway. Like most celebrity endorsements don't really move the needle, but she could. And they had run
Okay.
that like 20 minutes before. So the theory is he was watching that and then he stewed on it for 20 minutes and then tweeted that. But that's one of those where it's like, dude,
Oh,
okay, so I I don't have any clue how many Swifties are really going to go out and vote for whoever Taylor says to. But like, if he would have just said, that's all right. She can vote however she wants. I feel confident in my positions. Or he could have done a way where he could have kind of minimized it. And instead, he goes out and says, I hate Taylor. Dude, you just radicalized all the Swifties against you. Like, there's certain things he's doing right now and that's one of those where I'm like, I wonder if Laura Loomer told him to say that. Like, I hope she did. I
well,
hope
we
she
talked about this, and he kind of has like a plan in place where he doesn't think he actually needs to win. Like he thinks he can yeah,
basically
just
screw up the
like take the
certification.
election again, like try and
Yeah,
take the election.
he's going to try to screw up the certification. That's what everybody's saying. The only state where it looks like he could really do that is in Georgia. And it seems right now like Georgia might not matter. So if Georgia can't even certify their votes, it might not matter at all, especially if she gets North Carolina. Um, but I'll say, I'm surprised you said your dad. And what are you looking at over there?
I'm looking at Swifty fans of voting age. It looks like there might be,
I've heard 300,000.
yeah, I'm looking at 337,000
So
Swifty fans of voting
that's
age.
how many registered to vote or something like that, or something like that. Or they went to their website or whatever it was. They went to the voting registration website.
That's like 10% of the population.
That's not 10% of it. Your math is terrible. I think there's like, I don't know how many Americans are there. I think there's 330 million Americans.
Okay.
I'm going to Google that.
330 million Americans divided by 337,000.
I don't do math well when it comes to division. You got a calculator? How many
Uh,
zeros are in millions? I'm just going to tell you, I think you're off there. Okay.
I could be off. It could be
Yeah.
1%. Hold on. Uh, 300, let's just do 350 million.
I think like 30 million would
How
be
can we not do
10%.
math, Andy?
30 million, I'm going to say is 10%.
Oh, shit. What did I do?
Not math.
Apparently, I can't even use a calculator.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to start helping my daughter with like algebra in the next couple of years, and that's gonna be terrible. I forgot how to do all this.
Um,
I can't wait to see how many people enjoy watching us try to do math.
this is so stupid.
I can tell you just hit
I'm
enter.
doing it wrong.
All right,
Doing
let's
it wrong.
bail on this. I'll edit
Okay.
in the truth later.
Apparently, 350 million divided by 350,000 is 1,000.
Okay, yeah,
Carry the one, add a zero,
yeah.
divide by two.
I'll talk
And
to
it's 10%. We're gonna go with 10%.
I'll talk to an economist and I'll put the right answer in this later. Okay. But hold on, real quick. You said your dad sounded defeated. Is that an accurate representation?
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
seem mad at all?
A little bit.
Okay.
More defeated than mad.
The thing that I've picked up because I tried so hard. Like after the debate, I'm doing a second podcast I've told you about.
Oh yeah. How'd
What's
that go?
dude? What's better than having one podcast with no listeners? Having two podcasts with no listeners.
Double
it,
the
it,
listeners.
it went great. First episode, three guys talking, and we're not allowed to talk politics. They were very very strict with me on this, and they were like zero politics allowed in this podcast.
All you know is politics and sports, Andy.
Dude, everything that they brought up, all I wanted to do was talk about, like, I could find a way to link it to politics no matter what, and it was hard not to do. Twice I tried to bring up politics just to see what they would do, and they shut it down instantly. But we filmed the day after the debate, so like I'd been watching post debate stuff all day long, and then I have to go sit down with them and not talk politics. It was rough. But I've been trying so hard to talk to Republicans and just without a shit eating grin on the day after the debate, I was feeling happy. I was like, Kamala whooped some butt. Quick side note. The new Joe Rogan podcast came out today, and it was Tom Segura. I love Tom
Oh,
Segura, so I'm always
okay.
going to listen to that. And like, I only got to listen to the first 25 minutes, but they were talking about the debate, and they were both like, "Yeah, Kamala whooped him." Like, and they were making fun of the Fox polls that said like 90% say Trump wins. So I thought that was that. A lot of Republicans are towing the line right now, saying, "Oh no, Trump didn't really lose," and I'm glad that Rogan was being honest about it.
Go ahead
Um,
and plug your other podcast. What's it called?
I don't know. I don't want them. Let me get better, and plus the people over there that are going to listen to that one are like the soccer families that I have to deal with. So I don't want any way that they trace me back to this one. That'd be my nightmare. Is that
But they'd have to listen to this one first to hear
I'm
what the
not
other
risking
one.
any cross contamination. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. But yeah, no, and the one thing I noticed was Republicans are mad right now. Like there's anger is the way I feel. The most of my talk to didn't seem sad or down. They seem mad. And
What are they
maybe
mad at?
the moderators of the debate, Kamala in general, the whole Kamala had earrings that were radio transmitter. I've still heard that.
This is
Um,
crazy. This
yeah.
is crazy talk. Why are they so crazy, Andy?
Well, and dude, so I figured it out. I kind of I gave this some deep thought. There's many kinds of Trump voters, but I'm gonna put them all into two buckets. Okay. There's the new Republican Trump voter. They've never been that into politics, or maybe they weren't Republicans, but they love Trump. And these people also tend to like the conspiracy side of Trump. Like these are the people that when he said they're eating cats and dogs, they were like, "Yeah, he's saying it like it is." Like that's one bucket of Trump voters, and then the other bucket is people that they're Republicans and they really don't want to have to vote for a Democrat. They don't even want to think about voting for it, and
Okay.
they're begging Trump, just be normal, just don't say crazy shit, be
Yeah.
normal. Like please get Laura Loomer out of there. Like you can win on the issues if you just focus. Don't talk about your rallies and like
Well, what issues? What issues?
let's not even go down that road right now. I'm just saying that's their
Yeah.
mindset. And what's weird about it is they're mad, but they really don't want to admit they're mad at Trump. Like they're trying to find anybody else to blame, and it's the left or it's the moderators or whoever it is, but it's definitely not Trump's fault. And my whole thing, I've been saying this for a while, but like this, we saw this coming. I mean, we had, I'm trying to think here. What was it? Probably Pizzagate was first. What 2015? Remember
Yeah.
that was kind of the beginning of QAnon.
The
Uh,
guy walked to that pizza place and with his
tried to
gun looking for the basement.
tried to release the kids from the basement when there were none.
There wasn't even a
You know,
basement.
I'll even say birtherism. Birtherism was our first sign that Trump was a little out there. Okay,
Okay.
we had some warning signs. Pizzagate, QAnon, which he was kind of he always played dumb. Like I don't really know who these QAnon people are, but they
No, he
seem to
had
like
gold
me.
toilets. That's like maybe the first sign.
Okay, yeah, the fact that he had gold toilets should have tipped us off. But like, there's been warning signs along the way that he's flirting with. He never had 2 feet in the door, but he was always flirting with these kind of right wing conspiracy groups like QAnon. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
and now he's fully embracing them, and they're mad about it. They're just like, God, why won't he just quit talking about this crazy shit and focus on the economy and immigration is all you need to talk about.
Mhm.
And it's
But the
odd.
economy's good right now.
The economy's getting better. It's still not as good as it was in 2019 before COVID, but inflation's coming down. The stock market's higher today than it was then.
Wait, the stock market's higher, yeah,
The
and
stock, but
unemployment's lower. Inflation is
inflation's
it,
it's
what is
inflation is
inflation at right now? Because it was high for a while, but I think it's dropped down pretty low at this
so
point.
it's down. They're always doing it compared to last year. So it's only 2% higher than it was last year. Either way, a loaf of bread costs way more today than it did in 2019. Okay. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though they say, oh, inflation's down to 2%, well, that's still 2% over last year. So
Okay.
things could be better. The stock
Yeah.
market's doing great.
Well,
And
Trump, tell me how you're going to get bread down to $2.19
and
over the
don't say
line.
the word price controls, whatever you do. Yeah. But that's kind of what I've noticed this week is a lot of the people I talk to aren't really the hardcore Trump voters. They're just the ones that want the Republican to win. And I feel like there's a weird anger right now where they want to blame somebody, but like they can't bring themselves to blame Trump. Like it's somebody else's fault. The moderators,
Yeah.
the female moderator, I can't remember her name, like she was in the same sorority that Kamala was.
Oh,
Several years apart and at totally different schools, but every school has a chapter. So the one
yeah.
that they were both in is the one for historical black universities, the HBU one. So I
Okay.
mean, there's like
Oh,
500,000 members of that one. But the head of ABC is apparently like friendly with Kamala. Like I think the head of NBC So it was some story where, sorry, ABC, but that person set up a couple who then set up Kamala and her husband or something like that. So there's some fun
Oh,
story there. So they
okay.
know each other. So, but yeah, it's definitely like some seething going on right now, and it's a
Well, Kamala should just do it on Fox. Do one on Fox.
if I
Why
were
would?
her, I don't think she needs to. And right now, she's up in all the swing states that matter, and the trajectory is still going up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like if she keeps slowly moving up and separating more and more from Trump, the whole like they're hiding her in the basement like they did Joe thing, like I hear that all the time. But also like yeah, if she's gaining on him or getting
Yeah,
pulling away from him, don't do anything risky at all.
yeah.
Like why? Like why would you?
Like
And
an
he's
interview, which is weird. I think the interview thing is weird. She should do a little more
so
interviewing, but
they
yeah,
said that
if it's only can hurt, if it can only hurt her, then yeah, stay away from it.
So they said that I think just yesterday they said that she has several interviews lined up now to come, but they're all
Okay.
going to be safe. Like they, you'd be stupid to have her go on with Brett Baer or somebody like that. Like there's no
I'd love to
need.
hear her on Hannity though. I would love to hear Hannity. I would. I mean,
Yeah, if I
who
was
cares?
if
Like,
I was running her campaign, there's no way in hell I'd let her do
yeah,
that. So
yeah. I
that's what I'm
mean, it
saying.
could back. It could definitely backfire,
Mm.
but it could also just make Handy look like a crazy person.
The people that are watching Fox are not going to side with her over Hannity on anything. So again, there's no viewers over there. Like we're only right now, both sides need to be only talking to those middle voters that are still movable.
Yep.
None of
Yep.
them are watching Fox. Okay, most of them
Uh,
aren't watching the news at all, and that's where Trump is being smart with doing the podcasts left and right.
but if
Because
she
like
could pick up some of those Republicans that are thinking Trump's crazy, too crazy to be president, and they want him to talk policy only that we were just talking about. If she could pick up a few of them here and there, then that could swing a lot too.
none of them are watching Fox News. So.
Hmm.
So the other type of Republicans that I was talking about, the ones that are moderate and don't want to vote for Biden, but they're just wishing Trump would get his shit together. The funniest of that group to me, and I'm gonna say the Megyn Kellys. That's the best way I can describe it. But like
Okay.
Megyn Kelly had the famous 2016 debate moment with Trump, where oh I can't remember. He says about her bleeding out of her wherever or something like that. Remember that whole deal?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she publicly was not a fan of his for 5 years, and she tried to go over to like she left Fox and went to NBC and tried to be more mainstream. Didn't work out. The left never really liked her, so she kind of didn't have a home or audience. Like she was doing her own independent thing. But if you're a Republican that's like a staunch Republican and you don't really like Trump, like there's not a lot of money in that. Like you're not going to become famous.
Yeah.
So she kind of read the tea leaves, and I think it was in the last 2 years she saw that like, hey, Biden's struggling, Trump's probably going to win.
Well, she
So
went
she
from Fox News to like moderate. Where did she go after that? She went somewhere and she was somewhat moderate, and now she's
so
gone way off the deep end.
so she went to NBC and was on like the Today Show or something like that, and that
Okay,
was
yeah,
like that
yeah.
was her trying to move to the middle. And then she was for like I want to say 2 or 3 years there. Like I don't know if she was even on the air. Like she kind of just fell off the radar, and then she came back and she's jumped like fully on board as Trump defender, and like it's people like her that I know are the most upset right now because it's like, man, I sold my soul, like I sold everything I believe in to come back and defend Trump, and now you're doing this crazy shit. Like you could
Yeah.
win. It's got to be so frustrating if you want him to win, and you're just like, just stop,
I don't
stop.
think I don't think she really wants to win. I don't think Handy really wants him to win. I don't think a lot of these people that say they want him to win want him to win.
I
They're too
think that
smart. They're too fucking smart. That's
I
the thing.
think that the media people you're talking about, Hannity and her, like they want him to win because they want him to be the president and they want to have the access to him. So that makes sense. Now, there is several there's been senators recently that have said like honestly, it might be better if he loses and we just focus on winning the Senate and then that way we can kind of come back with a fresh new candidate in 28. Because if Trump somehow wins, he's really they're afraid he's going to further destroy the party by, kind of getting nut jobs in there.
Yeah.
So that's been said. The former Republican mayor of Oklahoma City the other day, this was a local thing, but he came out and was basically saying like, yeah, like it wouldn't be bad if Harris won. Like he didn't full on endorse her, but it was a big deal here in Oklahoma.
I think the
Um,
Republican Party is going to have a long stretch to regain any credibility after Trump. After
I
Trump.
I think that if they get the right candidate, someone who can delicately say, like, not say mean things about Trump, but basically say, "Hey, I'm the fresh new generation." Like, I think they could pull it off and be back in 2028.
Yeah, but
The
they're gonna
top,
have to get rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, like all these crazy lumens, Matt Gaetz. They're gonna have to get rid of those guys first
so
before you can actually like get somebody in who everybody's behind, who's a moderate Republican, who's everybody else is behind.
luckily, those crazy Republicans, unless they're in a super safe district like Marjorie Taylor Greene,
And
like
Matt
they've
Gaetz.
been losing their races. Like the crazy ones are not doing well. In 2022, we were supposed to have a red wave, and the Democrats held on to the Congress
Yeah.
or to the sorry, they hung on to the Senate and lost the House barely, like a four vote difference. But like even Marge, I think Marge saw the writing on the wall. Like she's trying to move to center. Like if you just look at what she's actually said over the last couple of years, like she's not saying crazy shit anymore. Like I think she wants to potentially be able to run for president or whatever. I don't.
She
A
wanted to be
president,
like VP.
a president Marjorie Taylor Greene is scary as hell to me. But I will admit she's trying to move to the center. Like she's trying to not be so extreme. Boebert, there's a good chance Boebert's going to lose her election. Her district got eliminated, so now she's having to run in a different district. And
Yep.
I think she's. I don't know if it's for sure she's going to lose, but she's in trouble, I guess. There, like
Yeah,
it's
she's
definitely
she
close.
was gonna lose her district.
So she moved or something like
So
that.
she,
Yeah.
yeah, so she moved, or she was gonna have a really tough race. So she moved over, and she thought it was gonna be a win,
Mhm.
an easy win, and it just has turned out to be
Yeah.
just a
Well,
nightmare for her. So
she had the whole theater incident where she was getting frisky and vaping in that Beetlejuice production. Uh Man, she's fun to hate. But then
lucky guy.
yeah. And then hey, I called this. I don't know how many episodes ago, but remember within the last month when I made a comment about how like there's something going on with Trump and crypto. Like
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
like
you
him
did
and his
call this.
sons or there's talk about crypto, and I said I think Trump's gonna try to launch his own crypto. It's just a straight up con. Like all I've seen so many stories of people that like invested all their money in the Trump media, his True Social,
Oh,
and it's just nosedived. And
oh,
like
he's about to have to release what he's gonna do with that if he's gonna cash
mm,
out or not. And he's already said before that he was going to cash out, but he actually has to release it before the date he can cash out,
so
or
the
anybody can
stock could
cash out.
crater even more.
So the stock's just going to
Yeah.
crumble if he
I
decides
saw
to do that.
he was tweeting the other day that like, why won't they allow this sale? Blah blah blah. And then like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I think that you're trying to do something shady, and they're onto you. And I don't know anything about how stocks work. But the Trump crypto thing, like, I see no way that that's not just another money grab for him. Uh,
Okay.
but I just want to say, as soon as I saw that he had a big announcement coming up about Trump crypto, like I laughed my ass off because I saw that coming a mile away. Um, and then the other thing, no more debates. Do you think we're really Trump is right now very hardcore, no more debates, but there's a lot of people saying that he's using this for leverage. Like he's saying no more debates, and then he's going to try to get her. He's going to come back and say he'll do it if, and he recently said he'll only do a debate if it's on Fox News and it's either Hannity or Jesse Waters moderating, which
Yeah, yeah.
that's never going to happen. But do you think he's trying to just get leverage and he really is going to try to do another debate, or do you think he's serious, no third debate?
Yeah, I was just watching an interview with Mark Cuban, and he said like Trump's actually a good salesman, but he's this kind of salesman that's gonna find your weakness, use the scare tactics, and he's just gonna keep pounding and going
Mhm.
after it. And
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. He's just trying to sell her on his debate as opposed to a mutually beneficial debate. And
Well,
I don't think he really wants to do another one, but I think he's gonna try and sell it and get it on his terms. Um, where was I going with that? He was also oh yeah, here's what I think is he doesn't want to do a debate because he knows he's going to lose again.
okay.
But if the polls keep dropping in her direction or going up in her direction, he's going to be kind of forced into doing a debate, and then he's just going to go AWOL.
So
It's going to be Trump of 2016 where he's just interrupting, and he might even throw out some racist shit.
so first of all, when he lost that first debate to Hillary Clinton in 2016, he came back. So if you remember that second debate, he brought the four women that accused Bill Clinton of like, and he had them like do a press conference before, and that
Uh,
he did a lot better. Like I he never debates well. He just
no.
talks shit well. We talked about this, but
Yeah.
like he had a much stronger second debate. So if he comes back the second time, like You're exactly right. If the polling starts to get worse and worse for him, he's gonna have to try to do one, but he's gonna lose his leverage. Like the best leverage he has is probably right now while it's still relatively tight. Because if she starts to pull ahead, then she can be like, "No, fuck you. Like I'm not doing another debate with you,"
Yep.
and make him basically acquiesce to her terms. Uh, if I were her, I wouldn't give in to anything. It's like, no, we had an agreed upon next debate on NBC.
Yeah.
Either be there or don't. Like that'd be the stance I'd take. I wouldn't give in to any like, nope, I'm not doing it on NBC. Instead, Joe Rogan's going to do it or whatever it might be. No.
It would be great if he says no and she shows up, but they have her standing at the podium with no Trump there at the debate. He didn't show up.
Trump did that in 2020. He did that for one of the debates that they were supposed to have, but Trump got COVID, and then Biden basically because I can't remember exactly how it went, but basically Trump said, "No, I'm still going to do it. Like it'll be 6 days from the day I tested positive, so I'm fine. I can do it." And they ended up he ended up doing basically what became a town hall because
Mm,
Biden said, "I'm not showing up. You just had COVID. We need to reschedule for another day." And yeah, so that was the one where he did it with Savannah Guthrie, I think, on like
okay. I
NBC,
don't remember that.
and that was the one where they were trying to get him to denounce QAnon and the Proud Boys, and he just wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it didn't go well for him at all. It was he should have just not gone to that. But
I have a question for you, Andy.
okay,
How do you feel about flag burning?
I'm glad you asked. I would never burn a flag, and if I saw somebody burn a flag, it would piss me off. But I also very much think that like that's the First Amendment right there. Like that's what
Yep.
makes America great is that we can say my country sucks right now, and we can burn a flag or whatever form of political protest that's key to being America. That being said, I hope I never see it, and I hope as few flags get burned as possible for the rest of my life.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I kind of had the thought early, even today. I had a conversation with one of my buddies, and it was I kind of had the thought like, like, yeah, burn the flag. Who gives a shit? Whatever. But then he kind of brought it to my attention that it's really stupid to burn the flag. Like, even if
Yeah.
you're protesting your First Amendment rights, you're kind of burning your First Amendment rights while protesting for your First Amendment rights.
I
So
hate
it's
this
kind of an
country.
oxymoron doing this, right?
I hate this country that's so awesome that they let me burn a flag.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. No, and try that. So that's another one of those things where everybody's saying that Trump is the free speech candidate. Well, he's been saying that he wants to make it a law where if you burn a flag, it's a mandatory 1 year in prison. And it's like, dude, that is the whole heart of the First Amendment is the
Yeah.
ability to burn a flag in protest. And so that's just my own side thing. But if you say, Trump's the free speech guy, but he also wants to lock you up for burning a flag, those two things don't gel. Like that's not,
Well, the Supreme Court ruled on it in like 1989.
yeah.
It was
Well,
like Texas versus Johnson or something.
he said he wants to put it through Congress and make it an official, like a federal felony to burn a flag.
Mm,
That's
okay.
that's not very pro free speech, but
Right.
I don't think anybody on the right cares. But yeah, I think flag burning I put right there with abortion. Like it should be safe, legal, and rare. I
Okay.
feel the same about both of those.
Only in
Um,
case of emergency.
yes, which I don't know if you saw. They have officially ruled that we've had our first death due to a state abortion ban. There was a lady. I should look this. I'm not even going to try to say the details. A woman got like had a miscarriage of some kind. I'm totally
Atopic pregnancy.
I don't think it was whatever it was. She needed care, and they were afraid to give it to her because with the state's new laws, they thought that they could go to jail for performing what needed to be done on her.
Yeah.
And
What
she
state
ended
was
up.
it?
I man, hold
Okay.
on. I
Yeah.
I
We need
feel
to.
so bad because I this is something I shouldn't be talking about without being specific. So hold on.
I just want to know what state it was. Yeah, we should definitely do a little more research and come back to this. But yeah.
Here we go. I got the story right here.
Okay.
It was in Georgia.
Okay.
They passed a law that made dilation and curate. I can't say that word. A felony offense that had medical exceptions that doctors had warned were too vague and difficult to interpret. So that's the thing is the doctor, whatever hospital she went to, all the doctors were like, "I'm not going to jail for doing this."
They made it
Um,
illegal for dilation. Isn't that normal in a pregnancy?
I don't know. I think that's when you're in. I don't know.
We don't know enough about pregnancies and births, Sandy.
I said Amber would be alive right now if not for if it wasn't for Donald Trump and Brian Kemp's abortion ban, blah blah
Hmm.
blah.
I,
I, I
I
wish
thought
it
Brian
said
Kemp was
here.
against Trump.
So Brian Kemp's a Republican, but he also is not Trump kissing Trump's ass. Right now, they're kind of play making nice with each other.
Okay.
Um,
They're playing footsie.
yeah. I was trying to see if I could find the actual. Her condition worsened over several days. She heavy bleeding and vomiting blood. She was taken to Piedmont Henry Hospital in Stockbridge. Doctors found she had not expelled all the fetal tissue from her body, and she was diagnosed with acute severe sepsis. But despite her rapidly deteriorating health, the hospital delayed Thurman's dilation and curettage, I can't say that, procedure for 17 hours. By the time they operated, the situation was so dire it required open abdominal surgery.
Oh God.
Uh,
Sepsis. So she had an infection. So the baby was already dead and was
yeah.
rotting inside of her, caused
And
infection, and she died.
Well, and this has been kind of the what I keep reading is where like they tell them like, hey, we can't do it right now because your life's not at risk and we don't want to break the law. So come back when your life's at risk and then we can do it. And that appears to be what happened here. Anyhow, I think Donald Trump's going to put all the focus on immigration and the Haitians are eating our pets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are going to put all the focus on these kind of stories between
Yeah.
now and November. So the news cycle is going to be depressing as hell. The next
Yeah.
55 days is going to be just stuff that makes you not happy to be an American, to be on this earth. It's going to be rough, but that's what we're in for. And then in 55 days, it's going to get worse. Like
Does
that's
that make you want to burn a flag?
no, not at all. As much as I'll complain about it, like the people that I'm going to go on a little rant here, but the people that are on the far left and right that kind of have the opinion of like just burn it all to the ground, like just blow up the government and start from scratch. And it's like that's extreme. Like that's going to be a problem. Let's try to fix what's wrong with the government. Like as much as everybody gets mad at the US government, we have it better than every other country out there, I would say. Maybe not every other. There's some countries like Norway that I think sneakily like have got it going on. Like they're doing quite
Yeah.
well over there. But it could be a lot worse in a lot of other countries. We're lucky to be here, and let's fix what's wrong with our government. We don't need to burn it to the ground and restart. Like that would be
No.
tragic as hell. There'd be really issues with that. And that's kind of Brexit in 2016, whenever that was 17, when they you know what Brexit was? Are you familiar with
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So they decided let's leave it up to the people to decide, and the people overwhelmingly voted to leave the European Union.
Yeah.
And
So
then they
bad.
found out there was all kinds of economical issues with that, and
Yeah.
Britain's economy went in the tank for a while, and now they're trying to get back into the EU. And it's like, remember I said several episodes ago that like if we let Americans vote on every issue as a referendum, we would vote on shit that would end up hurting us. Like we
Mm,
kind of can't let people do that. That's what I'm talking about. Brexit's a prime example of that. Um,
yeah. All right. One thing that would fix our government.
Taking money out of politics, dark money out of
Boom. That's what
politics.
I was going to
Yeah,
say.
that's uh,
Yes. Absolutely.
that's an easy first step that we should try before we burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
That's my only thought.
Yep.
If we
All money.
if we try to do some stuff and none of it's working, then okay, maybe let's have the talk about burning it to the ground. But right now we haven't really tried any of the stuff, so let's give
Yeah.
that a
Well, I
shot.
mean, that's because the politicians are voting on their own corruption, right?
They're voting on their own interests. They're
Yeah.
voting to line their pocketbooks, and that's it's kind of it's human nature. Like I,
Yeah. It
it's
sucks.
upsetting. Yeah. So.
Uh,
All right. I think that's all I got. You got anything else you want to hit on?
no, I think that's it, man.
Okay. Well, good luck to us. We're heading into a weekend coming up where I think there's going to be more political violence. I hope I'm wrong on that,
All right.
but I
Well,
haven't.
let's try and record another one in the next day or two.
Oh, yeah. You're going on your trip, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving for Maine Thursday, so
How long you gone?
a week.
Do you mind if I had a guest host while you were gone?
Go ahead.
I might get a Republican in here. I got one on deck that I might try
Oh
to use.
shit.
So
Okay.
it's for my other podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I might do that. If I do that, don't be mad. Don't think I'm cheating on you.
Oh
But
no, I don't
yeah.
care.
So
That'll be fun.
all right. Well, yeah, we'll hook up in the next day or two, sir.
All right, brother. Talk
later.
to you later.
Bye.